Hey, welcome to another episode of
Welcome
the
back.
Meaty Mondays. Y'all see who we have in the middle? All
Yes.
right, this is going to be a dynamic show. I want to say thank you to Dr. Kiltz for coming on. Of course, we've all seen him out in this atmosphere. I had an opportunity to stay at the same hotel. I felt like I was staying next to a celebrity. And we asked him about coming on because I have friends, I'm pretty sure you have friends that might have some fertility issues. Everybody knows that Rebecca, if you don't know, you know now, Rebecca is pregnant. And she is baby number 9. The entire family is carnivore. All is well. I just want to tell you guys a little bit of Dr. Kiltz. Dr. Robert Kiltz, founder of CNY Fertility, has transformed the fertility industry with his integration of Western and holistic medicine, offering affordable treatments and comprehensive healing arts and services. He is, and I'm saying he is a leader in the keto carnivore diet movement, regularly sharing insights on wellness and fertility through his blog and social media. This is the part that blew me. He is a licensed pilot and accomplished artist. Next time I will have some artwork. Dr. Kiltz lives in central New York, drawing inspiration from his home on, hold it, Scanned Atlas Lake. Did I get it right?
That's close enough.
That's close
It's
enough.
good enough.
There
right?
you go. Take it on from there, Dr. Kiltz.
Well,
there he is.
I am really excited to be here. And I met this amazing couple and F and G kicking Kiltz's ass. Like we're at this posh hotel, and G and F have the very best room in the place, which is right pretty much at the front desk. But I met I am just honored to be here, getting a chance to speak my words that I've been learning from people like yourselves. And so I'm let's see, I haven't met Laura before, Healthy Carnivore, and Robyn I've met, Rebecca, yes, and G, yes. So maybe I can get, like I'm the crazy fertility doctor that recommends the baby's diet: bacon, eggs, butter, beef, salt. And every man needs to be told how wonderful they are, fed steak and eggs every day, and made love to every day. And they will shut the F up and
They'll make babies.
Yeah, big babies. That's all it is. And ultimately,
at least practice.
Making babies is the most important thing in life because reproduction is number one. And so, maybe again, I get a quick introduction of Laura, and then Robyn and Rebecca and G, of how you got to this crazy fertility world, or this crazy carnivore fertility world.
Yeah, so my fertility days are long over, which I'm okay with, but I wish I would have known about carnivore back in the day. But I had pretty easy getting pregnant. I just had to think about it, and I was. So even on birth control pills, actually. So I actually started doing what I call keto back in 1991. I did that for 28 years. And then I transitioned to carnivore in 2019. This month is actually my 5-year carniversary. And I've been a nurse for over 21 years, and I do teach healthy ketogenic type lifestyle to every one of my patients, their doctors, and their families. And I do live in a small town in Illinois. And so the doctors are pretty well on board because they don't know any better, which is okay. So they kind of follow along pretty well. So that's my favorite things. And then I am a deer hunter on top of that, and a gearhead. I like to work on motors too.
Oh, love it, love it, love it. I used to be a grease monkey myself, but I haven't hunted yet. So God bless you. Thank you, Laura. Robyn,
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. So glad to have you here on the show tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Always amazing to see you. My name is Robyn Heron, and I am your carnivorous grandma. And I started my carnivore way of eating in February 22nd of 2023. So it's been a little over a year, heading on towards a year and a half. Before that, I did keto. I did keto for 5 years straight. And then I fell off the wagon eating sweet corn, and I could not get back on it. I just kept struggling to get back on it for like 2 years. I watched actually Dr. Berry, who went from keto to carnivore, and I was like, okay, so he didn't die. He's actually doing really good. And so that's when I decided that I would try it. And so February 22nd, I just jumped onto the carnivore wagon. And after 30 days, I knew I would never go back to my old way of eating. I would never be able to go back to the standard American diet because I saw so much healing in my body within 30 days. You know, and I continue to see additional healing as the time is going on. I still have additional healing to do. And I got some additional weight that I want to lose. But carnivore is absolutely amazing. I love it, love it, love it. And I love these ladies, and I love this show, and I love that you're here tonight with us, Dr. Kiltz.
Well, I love that I was invited, and we're just the most amazing energy. Gee, looked like you were about to jump in there.
That would be me. So listen, once again, hats off to you. So thankful that we have a fertility doctor in this community. For Frederick and I, we are over a year carnivore, 370 something days. He normally keeps me up to date with the date. I think for me, this is now healing my body. That's what I'm looking for, healing. And my new thing is now I want to fuel my body versus feed my body. I woke up 135 pounds, and look, there's one of our babies. That's one of our carnivore babies. And there you go. I'm like you. I'm constantly learning. And I really wanted you on here because I have friends that are trying to get pregnant. Their kids are trying to get pregnant. They're having miscarriages. My heart is going out because then here I come saying, it's the food. It's the food. So I can't wait to hear from you this evening. And go ahead, Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca, how you doing?
I'm good. It's so good to see you again.
It's a pleasure to see you again. And your story is just like amazing. And you're a superstar, really. In the world, again, of reproduction, improving something that people are waiting for a study. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So yesterday was Father's Day, which marks 2 years since I took my husband to the hospital thinking he was having a heart attack. He felt really weird. He couldn't get up. It just hurt. And so we went to the hospital. It turned out it wasn't his heart. It was his blood pressure, which was, I believe it was like 220 or 230 over like 150. And they were like, you're so lucky you didn't have a stroke. Like it's amazing. You're here and alive for the most part. And so that was his wake up call that we had to do something. And so we decided to do it as a family. And within about 2 days of that is when we decided to be carnivore. And our big secret was we decided we're Team Reese. It's all or nothing. It's going to be the whole family. Because for one, there'd be no way that we're going to have, dad just eating steaks and hamburgers and eggs while everybody else is still munching on like the Cheerios and and the Twizzlers or whatever. Like that was never going to work. But we just also took the approach that if this is really healthy and not just some sort of fad or some attempt to just dramatically lose weight or anything, that we really do believe it's the healthiest way to eat. There was no reason not to do it with our kids and to just really, we knew what we were eating was not good. It's just getting to the place where you make the commitment to really go all in. So that's 2 years for our family. And as I spoke with Dr. Kiltz before, I had my 8 children, and then I'd had some fertility issues, and we didn't think I was going to have any more kids. And then about a year into carnivore, a little over a year now, I got pregnant out of the blue. So that is part of our journey as well. As
Out of the blue?
out of the blue. It was a total surprise, you know. Everybody asked me, "Don't you know where they come from?" And I'm like, clearly, you know. So that is our journey. This will be our first carnivore baby. And the little one that you saw peeking in, snuggling up to me, she's probably only had 3 months of her life that she was not on the carnivore.
Wow.
And so we think that's just remarkable for her health, her everything. So
she's gonna be a rock star.
I think so.
Absolutely.
She is sharp, man. She's been most verbal, like she is really, really sharp for her age. And I gauge that by all of my other children early on. I think she just has like the mental clarity. She's sharp. She's great verbal skills. And, you know, I think if her body's not been plagued by overwhelming amounts of sugar and carbohydrates like the others were at this age. So.
All right, let's move forward. So hit them, Rebecca. Get them.
All right. So our first question for you, Kiltz. Just give us your best shot. How does carnivore diet specifically influence reproduction health and fertility?
Well, the cause of infertility is the same as the cause of hypertension, diabetes, liver, lung, kidney disease, cancer, stroke, ALS, MS, dementia, Alzheimer's, suicidality, criminality, you name it, it's caused by inflammation. And I basically write about 5 major causes of inflammation. The first is plant sugars. So a plant-based diet is a high sugar diet, and that's the number one cause of inflammation and thus infertility. Number 2 is the plant chemicals. Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine are all plant chemicals that damage our reproductive system. And remember, the reproductive system is the most important thing because we're born to reproduce. And more men and women are suffering of reproductive disorders, PCOS, endometriosis, endometritis, uterine fibroids, adenomyosis, anovulation, not ovulating. And then their eggs are all trashed even before they start their menstrual cycles. And certainly more and more women are going through menopause at younger and younger ages. So ultimately, a combination of the plant sugars, the plant chemicals, the plant antigens, lectins, oxalate, phytates, and the fermentation of the plants in the gut. People don't realize that bacteria, yeast, and viruses love the plant-based diet. The microbes ferment. Fermentation makes alcohol. That means we're making alcohol in our gut. Our children are making alcohol in their gut, and they're just living on an alcohol blood level that I don't think any of us really understand. So the basic damage is happening to the ovaries, tubes, uterus, the prostate, testicles, and they're all being damaged. And that's the leading cause. And sugar is the leading cause of all disease. And I'm sorry, lettuce, kale, asparagus is all sugar.
Isn't that something?
It's deadly
So
for us.
segment 1 is going to be about dietary insights for fertility. And my question to you is, can you explain the relationship between meal frequency and overall health outcomes, particularly in relation to fertility?
Well, we eat too much food too frequently. That's one of our biggest problems. The gastrointestinal tract is one of the most sensitive organ systems of the body. It's lined with a sugar layer called the glycocalyx. The glycocalyx in the sugar layer is critical, just like the trees, the grass, and the plants out on the land. It's critical to protect the land and create the environment. And so because the sugar is damaged, it's causing leaky gut, which causes the transgression of the microbes and the other antigens into the body, and it's not protecting the body. So the more frequently you eat food, even as a carnivore, you're going to damage the glycobiome. And as you damage it, you erode the protective layer called the mucopolysaccharide or the glycocalyx layer, which is made of sugar. and it's causing basically the damage of the inside of what's going on within our body. And so I recommend 1 meal a day or less to allow the bowel to heal, to prevent the leaky gut, and improve our health and wellness.
All right, who got the next question?
Robyn.
I do.
Yep.
So here's the thing. I wanted to just say to Dr. Kiltz that when I first married my husband about 15 years ago, I was an older woman. I'm older than him. He and I wanted to have a baby. So I had my tubes untied to try to have a baby. I worked with a fertility specialist, and we really tried to have a baby, and we were not able to have a baby. And I think a lot of that has to do with the food that we were eating, right? So my question is, what are some of the biggest challenges people face when making significant dietary changes, and how can they overcome these challenges to improve fertility? So the role of the diet and the fertility and fertility treatments and how that can be effective.
Well, once again, all disease is caused by the same thing. Being infertile, male and female, sperm and egg, embryo, and the implantation environment are all adversely affected by our diet. And our diet is like our religion, our politics, and our culture. You live it through thousands of years. We've been living this way of living and eating. And so changing these things is not like quick and easy, right? I'm Italian, I'm Christian, Catholic. I've had my political beliefs, and you're going to change it. Ain't happening very easily. The brain is meant to be very rigid and very difficult to change. So we live in a plant-based, lean meat, low animal fat diet and eating 3 to 6 meals a day. That's what we've been propped up to believe. And so changing it takes mindset, which is, I think, the most important part. That's why the conversation, listening and learning from others that are doing this is number one. You have to listen and learn from others that are doing this to get the way and listen. And then I love to watch the people cooking these foods or making these foods and preparing them. I used to watch Julia Child. I loved cooking. I'm Italian. My father loved to cook. My mother loved to cook. And so suddenly I'm eating steak and eggs pretty much every day. It's kind of boring. But one thing I say, variety is deadly. So if you have boyfriends and girlfriends on the side of your partner, it's deadly and dangerous. So variety is no good. Boring in your diet and your relationship is the best way to a fertile life and making babies all day long.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Kiltz. Hey, Laura.
Yep. Hey, could you share some practical tips on meal planning for optimal fertility and overall wellness? Uh-oh, he's got a book.
Well, it's really simple. See, my basic meal plan is bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt, and generally 1 meal a day. I mean, is it difficult? I mean, you cook a steak. I mean, basically, raw is the very best way to eat all of this, by the way, which is kind of crazy. Raw meat is healthier for you, and cooked vegetables are less harmful for you. But if you look at Pottinger's cats, but you can look at our babies' diet. We have a new book called Babies for Babies, which happens to have some meal planning in it. Amazon.com. And then, I mean, there are infinite books out there, but it really is the beauty of carnivore. It's like easy. There really is no meal planning. And the more you do the same, most animals eat the same thing every day. They're not saying I can't eat that today. And ultimately our GI tract is like a lion. And so lions are kind of like, where's the wildebeest? You know, they're not like saying, well, I can't eat that today. So again, look at our stuff online, look at Kiltz Mighty Tribe, but it's so simple. Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, babies for babies. And when you're pregnant, the same thing. When you're breastfeeding, the same thing. And when your baby's done breastfeeding, the same thing.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk, you kind of touched on this a very little bit, but let's talk a little bit about positive thinking and wellness. So I love your 5 o'clock in the morning meetups where we talk all about
Yes.
positivity. You know, you talk about the Lord, you talk about reading and studying. So here's my question. What role does positive thinking play in achieving health and wellness goals, especially in the context of fertility?
Well, the mind is ultimately the master, and you need to train the mind to think in the direction you want to go. So this is the most important thing of life. Faith is number one. Faith and belief in God, whatever your foundation of God is, we need to all look in the mirror and see God within ourselves and all other humanity. God is critical, and have faith in God. Imagine that everything happens to you in your favor. It's the building blocks of life. The stress and the struggles are the strengthening and the building of where you want to go. And ultimately, whether it's infertility or other life events that are hard, it's through hardship we build a strong ship. And community is critical. And ultimately, religion is about community. And the more we realize that God isn't in a place, it's within all of us. And when we connect together, that's why I think churches and synagogues and so many places where we come together are great. But ultimately, all you need to do is in solitude, God is there also. And that's one of the best places. But I love to read. I read the Bibles, the Bhagavad Gita, the New, the Old Testament, the Quran. I love to read Marcus Aurelius and Meditations. And then there's this other guy who's written a book, Living Your Best Life. And I have a book on daily inspirations, also on Amazon. But again, that's why I love The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. All thoughts create all things. And ultimately, Jesus Christ and other prophets brought the word to our lives. And that's the most important thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So this number one question, drkiltz.com, we can find the links there for the books and everything, right? That's why I have that going across. This second segment that Robyn just kicked off is talking about positive thinking and wellness. And my question to you is, how does mental health influence physical health and fertility? And what strategies can women use to maintain a positive mindset during their health journey?
My sister Marianne had diabetes since age 4, and she died at 52. She had insulin dependent and really brittle diabetes for years. She lost her vision, her kidneys, her heart, and her life eventually. And but my sister Marianne was always an amazing, positive, loving, kind person. My mother was that way, and so I learned through their experiences in life and how they lived that it's one of the most important things. The mind is ultimately it. I don't care what your health and wellness, your life circumstances are. If you've got the right mindset, everything is okay. And so meditation, prayer, visualization, mantras, I think are very, very important for all of us. And so ultimately, think of the brain like your kidneys, your heart, your liver, your reproductive organs, like your joints. It's just another organ system that is actually damaged and inflamed secondary to plant-based low animal fat diet. So keto, carnivore, and fasting will tremendously help your brain function better so you can use the word in the way of developing your life. Now, interesting enough, I was dyslexic and couldn't read as a kid. So, if it was a picture, I can look at it, watch cartoons, and that was about it. And so I didn't understand the power of the mind because my mind was a little messed up. Finally, I did a lot of work to get better. But when I found keto and carnivore, it really helped me tremendously to lose a lot of the depression, anxiety, and help me even read better and listen and learn better at the same time. But I think mindfulness is more powerful because 20 years ago, I brought mindfulness, acupuncture, meditation, and prayer to my fertility practice. And then some of my patients were doing paleo and getting pregnant. I'm like, what's this about? What's paleo? That's how I actually got into the nutritional side of things, because I started with mindfulness, which I think, again, is the foundation and the capstone of everything we're talking about is how to listen and learn and focus on positivity. That's why I do my morning live. I do it because I need it. And starting the day with thank you, God, Lord, creator for the day, or whatever the mantra is to help guide your life through the word, because the word is the way.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. So on that note, can you talk about the connection? Because you touched on it some, but the connection that there is between emotional well-being and dietary habits, and how one can support or sabotage the other. And we've all talked about, like on here, all four of us noticed that we are much more emotionally stable eating carnivore. We fly off the handle less. You're getting less ups and downs. And I think about this a lot of my, we've grown up in a culture which basically shows that every time a woman is sad, she goes and eats a pint of ice cream.
Yeah.
So exactly. So the connection between those, and when you
well, so we are emotional beings. That's who and what we are. And so no emotions is not normal. Excessive emotions is abnormal. So finding the sort of the balance and the key to this, that's really what this is all about. And so ultimately, meditation, mindfulness are critical. Cognitive therapy, where we're sort of, again, it's all back to the word. There's really great books on the meme machine, the memes, what the thinking is. But, we all have come from some trauma, right? But we either carry our trauma as a belief, as like it's currently happening to me, or we can drop it and let it go and see the beauty of the way and the world. And so we need to work on, and I love violin, it's Ho'oponopono. That's, again, I love you, please forgive me, and thank you. Simple phrases to, listen twice as much as you speak. And sometimes we go like crazy, but it's like, you know what? Please forgive me. I'm learning all this. But I think this is the most important practice that each of us can do. We're learning together in this. And I'm kind of a little bit OCD, ADHD. I'm always, remember when my partner says I'm always too close to people, but I'm Italian. That's my nature. My parents taught me that. But sometimes you just listen and learn. And again, especially if you're living with other people or in your environment where there are more emotions, and my job is to practice listening. And I always say, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's always internally, and then I bring it externally. And I read the book by Rhonda Byrne, The Secret. Then I read every book from that about The Secret. And then I began to realize it's all about the mind. And James Allen's book, The Mind is the Master. And it's all about Christianity mostly. Again, every religion is part of this. But when you learn that, and you can help, like, just calm the emotions, yoga, meditation, prayer, acupuncture are some of the things that help. And sometimes you need some cold water work or massage work or body work to help guide the mind and calm the monkey. Now, one of the things I think is important is don't label yourself as what you don't want to be. Label yourself as the thing you wish to be, and imagine as if you are already. Kiltz is pretty calm, isn't he?
Maybe.
Most important thing we're talking about.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone for incorporating mindfulness and other positive thinking practices into their daily routines so that they could support their overall health, and along with that, of course, their fertility?
Well, it begins with a daily, I start morning practice. I mean, I get up at between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I get up early in order to practice these things, and meditation and prayer are critical. I listen to books. I'm reading books. Right now, I'm listening to a book, Why Religion by Elaine Pagels. And by the way, people on my morning lives are often giving me advice on which books I should read. And basically, as a doctor and scientist, I said, God doesn't exist. And then God punished me and gave me challenges and trauma and stress and struggles, which led me to figuring out all about God and philosophy and how important these things are. So, I do my morning live. I listen to books. I read books. I have books everywhere that I'm practicing these things because, once again, the word is the way. And technically, there's nothing out there. Everything out there is created in here. And the more you tame this guy right here with kindness, love, generosity, the more your life will unfold in more amazing ways, I believe. But it's a daily practice. Join Kiltz, 5 a.m. Eastern time, or watch me on reruns.
Awesome. All right, so now we're going to move on to our next segment here, which is holistic health approach. So how important is a holistic approach to health and fertility, and what are the key components? What'd you say?
Well, so number one is infertility is what we're talking about, the foundation of what I do. But ultimately, if you make your body fertile, no matter what's going on in your life, you will improve your life, by the way. So I just a little digression there, but repeat the question one more time.
So how important is holistic approach to health and fertility, and what are the key components to that approach?
So an integrative approach, right? Western medicine is good. Eastern medicine is good, but together they are valuable, I think. We're living in a world where there's value in learning about acupuncture, massage, meditation, prayer. You might find one thing more valuable than another. Some people don't want to see a needle. I personally don't like people doing massage on me. You can do my hand massage, and that's about all I really like. And so we all have kind of our little preferences in all this. But acupuncture, so I'm not doing that. But once I did, it's like, wow, this is amazing. And so find the thing that feels right. But if you're feeling uneasy and you're afraid, in my opinion, that means you need to move in that direction. So that if I'm feeling it a little bit like, oh, this doesn't feel comfortable, that means I need to move there and do it and essentially give it a do so that I can learn, well, maybe this is something I've never experienced. I've heard, oh, it's terrible, but in fact, it was very valuable. This is why I do things like light therapy, cold therapy. I do a lot of meditation and prayer. I love walking meditation. I love all these things, but whether it's crystals or music, I love music also. And again, artwork, another modality of healing, walking. So, there are infinite things to do. I used to sew, crochet. My grandmother and mother taught me to do those things. I'm a crazy man. I used to take apart a car and rebuild it. I do pottery, painting. I used to do woodwork. I'm always want to try these things. And then painting and pottery I've stuck with more than anything. But all these things are integrating Eastern and Western practices, holistic, the whole approach. Western medicine, we're kind of taught that it doesn't work. Don't do it. It's sort of like, well, it's not that expensive. You could do it. It doesn't matter. But, and I was just listening to I got to find this. I apologize. Elaine Pagels. And she was trying to get pregnant for the longest time. And then she went to this cleansing, sort of a meditative cleansing of her body. She's pregnant the next month. And I thought that was very interesting. So we have to be open to all the possibilities of healing that are available to the human experience.
Exactly. Well, I was going to say,
Awesome.
It's like, how many couples do you know that tried for forever to get pregnant, couldn't, then they adopt a child, and then immediately get pregnant right after, which tells
Oh,
you it was not a Western medicine issue. It was something emotional, hormonal that
Mind.
but yet there's still always some physiologic adverse effect that is affecting the egg sperm interaction, ovulation, sperm and egg function. I mean, there's just infinite things that we don't understand. The electromolecular environment and a thought creates electromolecular reaction. So I think they're all linked, but we just don't know how to explain them very well. But that's the mystery of the belief and faith in God. Things are mysterious, but they're really not.
Awesome, Dr. Kiltz. So what are some common misconceptions related to fertility and diet that you often encounter, and how do you address them?
Well, let's see. Cholesterol is bad. Fruits and vegetables are good, and diet has nothing to do with your reproductive system, right? And PCOS is very common, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which causes a lot of women not to ovulate and not to get pregnant. So I call it plant-caused ovarian sickness. So and you know, our push in this world as doctors, nutritionists, is more plants, less meat. And so, you know, I think the most important misconception is that fat is bad, and ultimately fat is the most important thing to eat. And being fat causes no disease, in my opinion, where we're telling everyone being obese is bad, which is not one bit. So these are, I think, the biggest misconceptions. That one is there's that plants and carbohydrates are necessary and good for us. Not one bit. They're completely not required in human diet. And so by simply going to a fatty meat diet, now carnivore is that fatty meat diet, but ketovore is a high fat, medium protein, low to no carbohydrates. And if you eat only one meal a day and add fat like butter, cream, that many women who are in the vegetarian world or the Mediterranean world can get pregnant and heal. So, you know, it isn't you have to be a carnivore, but I think is like the best thing you can do. But, you know, I think that obesity is the cause of disease. That's, like, to me, the biggest misconception. Not one bit the cause of disease. The cause of disease is the diet we eat, which causes inflammation and dysfunction of our reproductive system.
So I just want to ask a question about the difference between being obese and being inflamed, you know, because I think people are getting that mixed up, like looking at people that are overweight and heavy. So what's the difference?
Well, it just happens that if you're overweight, you're more likely to have inflammation. But there are plenty of skinny people that are inflamed and infertile. And I had some pretty healthy friends that died of cancer. And a young son of one of my good friends has got cancer at 25 and healthy. So in fact, obesity is just a comorbidity, a relationship. If you're overweight, you got there because you overate likely carbohydrates, which led to inflammation. But plenty of overweight people are healthy and don't have inflammation and have plenty of babies. You know, there's a lot of discrimination in this medical community, especially in the fertility world, that women who are overweight must lose weight before they can get pregnant. We won't take care of you. And I'm like, well, but your friend's getting pregnant and she's as much or more than you are. Why do I tell you you can't have a baby? We're wrong. And so ultimately I was listening to, oh my God, it's going to come to me, but I'll come to you in a second. But basically that obesity causes no disease, and many animals, especially bears, if they're not fat enough, they gain 1,000 to 2,000 pounds before they're able to get pregnant. They cannot get pregnant. They fertilize an egg, but it does not implant. And they've got to hibernate for 6 to 8 months. What do they use for the fuel and building blocks for their baby? Fat. Only fat.
Yeah.
Fat, adipose tissue is where it's at, and obesity, again, causes no disease. And that's why I'm concerned about all these drugs and dissections to help people lose weight, when if they just learn, like, oh my God, keto and carnivore, faith and fasting is amazing.
All right, G. Yep,
There we go. We have a couple of more questions because we are in this last segment, and I want the viewers to know that I've set aside some of your questions and comments. And after these last couple of questions with Dr. Kiltz, we will get over to you guys. And if you want to put a QQQ in a question, I have them marked. So my last question to you, sir, because we're talking holistic health approach, and this is right up your alley. You share with us how you come on in the mornings, and I'm going to have to log on with that. I am not kidding. I just catch you later on in the day. My question is, can you talk about the impact of stress on fertility and some effective ways to manage stress for better health outcomes?
50,000 years ago, we probably lived a more stressful life than we live today. That is true. But stress is still a major component of dysfunction of our reproductive system and all of our other systems of our body. And so stress increases cortisol and epinephrine, which are anti-reproductive chemicals, versus serotonin and oxytocin, which are pro-reproduction. So by reducing stress, we significantly improve our reproductive function, and we can probably have more loving relationships with our partners, because when you're stressed, it's kind of like you don't want to do it. And I always tell people, listen, you have to take more time with your partner. You have to be more loving and kind and generous to your partner and yourself. And you have to just lead the way and be patient as you're making love to your partner. It's not slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. And this is where, going for a walk or just cuddling for some time or making a beautiful carnivore meal, that is so important. And ditching the alcohol, for sure, it's not good for us. But again, the meditation, prayer, visualization, and working on mindfulness, yoga classes, Tai Chi, hanging out with the Browns are all ways to like de-stress. But again, this idea, well, I'm under too much stress. Okay, no. I am so relaxed. Listen, I've got 500 plus employees. I work, 24/7. My text messages go off all the time. I'm getting yelled at all the time when I get home. I'm kidding. Way not, by the way. I am so blessed and lucky. But I would tell you that we control the environment. The environment doesn't control us. When you begin to dig into Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, look at James Allen. I went to Tony Robbins, walked on the coals. Oh my God, these experiences are really great to do. It helps you control the monkey in the mind.
I have one more question.
Only one?
Yeah. No, because you touched on something that put a smile on my face. All right, so you just said how no wham bam, thank you, ma'am. But there is a time and place for wham bam, thank you, ma'am. But I want to know how when you guys are when you're sharing with the people, how often do you tell them they should do it?
Every day.
Because you got to every day.
Okay. So number one is so this idea you got to do it is not true. All right. And so if everyone's in sync, it happens. You don't have to do anything. The problem is people are like, oh, I can't get it up, or it's not going to work. It's not going to last. Or like, I'm just not ready. I'm too stressed. shut the F up. Flatter him, feed him, and make love to him.
Mhm.
A lot of this is, again, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. Just let go of like, oh, it's got to be there this way, right? And oh, my testosterone's too low, or I got to have the pill, or whatever it is. Like it's my testosterone level is in the dump, below normal. My vitamin D's in the dump, below normal. It works fine, and I don't have rickets. This idea of measuring anything, it's like, you know what? Just be patient, and it happens. So I don't care. You can have it every day, 5 times a day. Now, if it's 5 times a day and there's a little, like almost no sperm because you're ejaculating all over the place, maybe once a day would be nice, or every other day be fine. But the right time is the real time. And when's the right time? Well, it's mid-cycle. It may be after we trigger you for ovulation. But a lot of time is like, it's the right time when it's the right time. Stop thinking. Just, it's quite an interesting thing. We make so much of it. If we just spend more time with our partners, be loving and kind, make them do something special for them. Like, this is where we need to get to. The more you give love, the more love comes, and the more that those babies just show up.
Okay. So now I know, Laura, wait, he hit another one. So how long, you said, like, if you're doing it so much where it's like he's spitting out cotton, it just ain't coming out like it's supposed to. How long does it take to really and reload, for lack of some scientific words here?
Yeah.
Depends.
Well, it all depends. It depends on your age or virility. I mean, ultimately, we don't know that answer for everybody.
Mhm.
And if you're having it every day and we check a sperm count, it's really shit. Give it 3 to 5 days. We'll see what it does.
Gotcha.
That's kind of a lot of it. If what you're doing isn't working, do something else. The one way, there's no one way to do anything. Again, but if it's not working, let's change it up. But I would say that about 3 to 5 days. Sometimes it might take longer. Sometimes it's only the next day. We generally feel that, every day might be a good way to get the very best sperm coming out. But it depends, if you're in the almost 70 guy, or if you're the 16-year-old guy.
Going to be a difference. So I wanted to go back to something you kind of hit on earlier. Just from my observation, I was a cardiac cath lab nurse and then open heart. And so it is so true. I had people say, oh, you're in the cath lab. You've got to have these massively obese people coming in there having these heart caths because of, cholesterol and plaque and whatever. Same with open heart. And I was like, no, absolutely. It was the opposite. It was normal size looking people who had been on statins for 30 years, lots of vegetarians, hadn't had animal fat, and all of their arteries were clogged. Or like when we would open them up, we would see the fat around their organs. And we had a guy that his whole heart was wrapped. We had to do ultrasound to find his arteries because it was fat packed.
Remember, we are meant to be hyperphagic in the fall in order to gain the weight for the winter. That's natural and normal. Since food was only available in those late summer, fall times, it's time to build the fat. And so remember, when you eat fat, it says, oh, there's plenty of food. When you eat fat, it reduces inflammation in the gut, in the vessels all over your body. Eating fat is the most important thing to do here. When a cow eats fat, it dies. When we eat fat, we thrive. We're told not to eat fat. Our diets are full of plants and protein, which are 2 deadly diets.
Well, and I've noticed too, when you think about our culture seems to affect women so much more, I feel like, because women start to become self-conscious about their weight and their diet right about the time they go through puberty.
Yes.
And then we spend basically our whole lives trying to eat less fat, calorie restrict, you know, have a lean salad every day with chicken breast on it. And it starts right as our fertility is coming and we're going through puberty. And I feel like that's why women are just getting more and more off earlier and earlier.
Right. And the biggest problem is your mother ate that way, which damaged you in utero. Plus it damaged her eggs and sperm and her mother and her mother and her mother and her mother. So this has been passed on. If you look at Pottinger's cats, Pottinger wrote a book where he fed cats raw meat, raw milk, or cooked meat and pasteurized milk. And those animals that ate the cooked meat, pasteurized milk actually passed on the damage to their subsequent progeny, where by eating, we're meant to eat actually probably raw meat and milk and not cooked. And that actually will reduce inflammation and make us the healthiest you can be.
Oh, wow. Okay, so really quick on here, which I think Carnivore Mommy and Rebecca need to get together because she has 8 kids.
Yeah.
She wants to have another baby or 2 and have carnivore pregnancies. But husband's what type 1 diabetes
Type 1
has killed his swimmers, she thinks. So if they were sitting in your office, what would you tell them? Uh-oh. There you go.
Keto is Kiltz with keto is carnivore.
Listen, the sperm is damaged, the eggs are damaged, the embryo is damaged, the implantation environment is damaged. The hypothalamus and pituitary glands, which are critical for the proper hormones that tell the ovary or the testicles to make sperm or eggs. And so carnivore basically removes the toxins. Fruit, fiber, vegetables, seeds, nuts, lean meat are toxic to your egg, sperm, embryos, uterine environment, testicles, and the rest of your body. And so I've seen plenty of guys' sperm come back by going carnivore. Sometimes we need to add some HCG or some Clomid. HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. It's pregnant nun's urine. I'm sorry, not pregnant. It's either pregnant women's urine or it's menopausal women's urine, which basically has a high LH, FSH, or the HCG, which come from pregnant women's urine, which basically stimulates the testicle to make sperm. So,
so how is she? How is? Because in my head, am I supposed to be peeing on somebody? What is supposed to be happening?
Well, that might work. That might work. Pregnant women's urine is collected in order to make HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, or menopausal women.
Controlled. This is not like people out here stealing pee, right?
Yeah, it's not like blood. It's not like blood donation.
Okay.
Yeah, but exactly where it's at, how it's doing, I don't know. But they process it and clean it up and scrub it down, and we use it all the time.
Okay, Donna would like to know, how long should we stay on 1 meal a day?
I think 1 meal a day is the best way to live your entire life, because your gastrointestinal tract's job is take the food you ate and send the amino acids and the sugars to the liver to make fat, send the fat to the rest of the body in order to make the energy that your body requires fat. And so now, if you're not getting enough calories, eat more fat or eat more meals. But again, the more food that goes through the GI tract, the more damage you'll do to the gut. That I think is a secondary problem along with a plant-based low animal fat diet.
I love my husband for this. He wants to know, what nutritional requirements should our typo right there 28-year-old daughter focus on while following the carnivore diet during her pregnancy to ensure both her and the baby develop. Okay, so we're going to send that to her.
Yeah, just go online to drkiltz.com. It's there somewhere. Listen, Occam's razor, the simple answer is the one. I mean, ultimately, this is not a very difficult concept. This is the beauty. That's why I'm good at it, because it's easy. I'm not good at hard. I'm good at easy. And again, every nutrient your body requires comes from animal meat, fatty meat. I think organ meats are really great also. I do have a nutritional solution
that I take every day.
made out of organ meats and liver supplement, which I think is great. But again, bacon, eggs, butter, beef, salt, typically one meal a day, but more fat is critical to eat because adipose tissue has every mineral, vitamin, building block of your body. That's our adipose tissue is it fixes everything. You know, you don't have to eat for weeks or
What
months.
is adipose tissue, Dr. Kiltz, for?
Fat.
It's the stuff that hangs over the belt. It's the stuff that,
Fat.
you know,
The love handles.
love handles.
I need
Yeah.
you to speak
A good
like
booty,
regular people.
a booty, belly, butt. It's all
The
there.
BBBs.
BBB, BBB. You know, again.
No, I was going to say his second question to follow up. Now, our daughter has had the baby. We got a grandbaby. Now he wants to know the carnivore diet supports postpartum recovery and breastfeeding. If so, what adjustments or recommendations should she make? We right back at that. Okay, Frederick.
All right.
Go to drkiltz.com.
Enjoy Kiltz's ice cream from time to time. Even if you want to put in a little honey or cane sugar or a little fruit. Listen, a little bit of sugar is not our problem. It's the constant consumption of sugar and the constant consumption of plants. We are not a grazing animal. We are a hunting animal. We're meant to hunt for our prey, gorge on the fatty meat, take a nap, make love, and go hunting again, which takes days and weeks in many cases.
Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick too? You
Yeah.
said something earlier about like the liver. Like I do eat organ meat, but I do not do that every single day just because my thinking is like my father was Cherokee Indian. They didn't get a hunt that was successful every single day. So that's not, I was doing that for a while. And actually my vitamin A got so high that my hair was falling out in handfuls.
Yeah. You know, like we don't know that real answer, how much you should eat. I don't even really, it's not required to eat it, but I think it's one of those things that as a carnivore, you likely eat those things first. How often do you get the kill? You had to spread it around.
Yeah.
You know, so once or twice a week, a small amount, you don't need very much,
Yeah.
but every cell of the adipose tissue contains every mineral and vitamin your body requires. So that's why you want to eat more fat, and raw fat is better than cooked fat, because when you cook things, you denature the DNA, you change the structure, and you may make them less viable and valuable for your nutrition.
You talking like raw fat that's on the steak?
Oh, the best.
I do have a question. I would like to ask, if a person is just eating one meal a day, how much should they be eating? Does it matter? Do they just eat till they're stuffed, or how does that work?
Well, if you're getting fat and you want to be skinny, eat less, move more. If you're getting skinny, you want to get fatter, gain more weight, you know, eat more, move less. So it all depends. I eat about a fistful of food a day. It's not a lot, but you know, if it's more fat, like I'm not wasting away. My weight's the same. And I do weights, walking. That's the most important thing that I do. Not heavy exercise. I don't go crazy. Light stuff, but I typically do one meal a day. I've been practicing my poached eggs, my 4 to 5 minute eggs. I like a runny inside, and I like the white to be firm. So I'm practicing these things right now. I mean, I love it. I love a medium over fried eggs. I love that. I love deviled eggs. Oh my God, with like duck grease, mayonnaise. But I would say that again, I don't know it. There's no measurement of how much protein per gram per. No one knows that. There's what animals like looking around saying, "Did you get your right minerals and vitamins today?" You know, there is nobody that's nutrient deficient. They're plant protein poisoned. They're plant protein poisoned. That's all we are. I don't see rickets. I don't see vitamin C deficiency, vitamin D. There doesn't exist. That's not our problem. We're poisoned by plants and protein.
So So D says the only thing that I struggle with being on the carnivore is not being able to get more than 5 hours of sleep. I go through that as well. I've upped in my fat and turning off all the lights in my house. Any suggestion? She didn't put in there sex.
Take naps, make love to your partner. And, like you're going to die one day. You're going to sleep the rest of eternity. Why you have time as a carnivore? I get in my pottery studio. I go to work. I talk to people. I go online. I do stupid shit. But again, how much sleep are we supposed to have? I don't know. Nobody knows that answer. Now, I take 1 to 3 naps a day. Today, I get to the office. I got to the office at about what was it, 3:30. I was like, you know what? I got up a little early. I'm going to take a 10-minute meditative nap. I listen to a book, or I just go through my love stuff in my life. And then I'm like, okay, I'm up. And then it's like 10 o'clock. And I'm like, shit, I'm dragging. What do? Turn the light off, lay on the couch, and take a 10-minute nap. I go through, thank you, God, Lord, Creator, for the day. I do meditation and prayer. I wake up in 7 minutes, and I'm back doing my stuff. I'm like, I'm driving home. I'm about to fall asleep. I'm like, some days I come home, I take a nap. But today I got on my walking treadmill, did that because I had to get ready for you guys.
Yeah. All right. So the last one that I have checked off, does lack of iodine have an effect on reproductive health for men and women? And I have an iodine story. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know that answer because it's kind of like vitamin D. My vitamin D is low, but I don't have rickets. My testosterone low. So I don't know what that number really is. I would say that, again, what damaged the thyroid gland? Plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not eating fatty meat. No one's eating raw fatty meat. So is there a lack of iodine? You better believe there is. But it's more, remember, goiters. A goiter is a damaged, enlarged, tumor cystogenic thyroid gland that's either hyperthyroid or hypothyroid. Okay. Lettuce, tomatoes, kale, peanuts, wine, asparagus, you name it, Brussels sprouts, all the things we're told to eat damage your thyroid gland. Okay. So everyone's got a thyroid deficiency and iodine deficiency. But if you simply go to fatty meat, you probably need none of that, in my opinion. But again, we like to tell people, well, I do occasionally some Lugol's, but it's because it's there and my partner says, oh, maybe you need some of this. But like, I never touch it. And I sell supplements. I don't take them.
I had that question for you too. I wanted to know, do you have me over here eating these organ meats and joking you not having them as well?
Okay. No. Now, again, I eat liver.
Me too.
Okay. So, and while I was on vacation, I was popping down all that stuff. Okay. And so, but do we need them? No one's proven that. How do you feel? Again, like, less is best. We're spending so much money on shit we don't need. Like, again, I'm the physician that sells the things because I have people buying them and I want to get a good product at a lower price. I mean, I'm the Walmart of IVF, right? And I sell the stuff, but I'm not telling people buy this, to this. Yeah. But for all those people are like, oh, I need this stuff. I want to have it. Where do I get it? I sell it. And hopefully I've got a good product at a good price.
Okay. So let me just say, I did an interview with Todd, the Carnivore Cure. And he talked about how he upped iodine. He takes the 5% and he upped it. So my husband, I'm like your partner, I've been telling him, put these drops in. Well, now I will say, I don't know if it's since the drops or what, but he's having some great longevity.
Oh.
It's working longer.
Yeah, it makes me want to hide the drops. No, I'm just so
drops away.
I noticed even for me, since I've been doing the drops, I'm back to having hot flashes again. As a matter of fact, while we were on here, I text him and said, I need you to adjust. Now he's in Atlanta. I'm like, I need you to adjust this AC because I'm in here burning up. Yeah.
Okay.
So what? I need to go down to 3 drops. What's going on?
That which you've never heard about or don't know about never becomes a thing in your life. And so there are many things that we're directed towards that we're like, oh, I need this. I got to do this. Right. And so, I mean, even in the back of my mind, I'm like, gee, I probably need to take this. And I'm looking around and thinking, well, maybe this is what I should do. Now, placebo is the most powerful thing of the universe. I love you, honey.
I love you more.
I love you more. I love you. Right on. Those are all the things. But I don't know the answer. And I think that should be most of our answers. But is a little bit of Lugol's going to hurt you? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Todd said it changed his, made him see in deep color. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Susan Hampton.
Yeah, no, he has it in there. Anyone else have any questions? I just have to say how much you have. This is like the conversation that I want to have. I want to know certain things, and doggone it, yes. There you go. That's y'all know I'll be trying to find the right word.
Yep.
We should have had him do Carnivore After Dark.
After dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can always bring him back for that.
No, wait a minute.
A bit more other stuff.
Okay, so but look, I'm gonna need you to take 2-3 naps that day because the show don't come on till 8.
I do that.
Late.
I'm good at that. I'm good. I don't go to bed until 9.
Okay, there you go.
So and sometimes I could push it to 10. Now, if I'm in Madrid, Spain, we can work it out. No, I'm good. I love it.
Let me see what we have.
This stuff is the most amazing. This conversation is the true health and wellness conversation we should all be having, because you have to integrate Eastern, Western mindfulness, what you put in the mind of the mouth and the motion of the body, and be very discerning of what you put in your body or what you allow your body to be put into. Very important.
Interesting.
All right. So, 25 milligrams of iodine daily for the past 2 months, and my energy levels have gone through the roof. Yes, that's the same thing like Frederick is saying. It really is.
Okay.
But,
I'll give it an experiment. I'm going to do some liver supplements, organ meats, and I'm going to do some Lugol's for the next month.
No, you just added too many variables. Now,
okay,
I know.
just the Lugol's. Lugol's?
We want to know the results too, Dr.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you do. I'm going to know by your face.
Oh.
All right. Carnivore Mommy.
All right. So,
Carnivore Mommy had a question that didn't get answered.
Yes.
So
yeah, I'm here.
It's up at
right
the top. It's up at the top, I think.
Oh, it's one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that means it came from Carnivore Mommy. Hold on.
Carnivore Mommy.
I think he was asking if he had seen any like miscarriages and trouble. Let's see. The Carnivore.
I'll find it. Y'all keep looking. Let me see.
It was up there quite a ways, but it was just asking if he had seen like miscarriages and trouble getting pregnant with people who I think had like taken the COVID vaccine. I think is what he was.
Well, all viruses
y'all gonna
are
have
inflammatory, and I have no opinion about that second part of the question.
Okay, understood.
I was looking for the questions. All right, so the question about pregnancy and COVID shot, that's what you don't want to talk about?
I have no opinion.
Me either. So there you go.
And one of the things that are important for everyone, they're in charge of their health and wellness, nobody else. And the beauty of the universe today is there is more information online today than I had going to medical school and going to the library. So every one of us has the right to learn about health and wellness of your body, your family's bodies. And so it really isn't rocket science. It's easier than anything you ever know. And in this keto carnivore world, lions lead, sheep be our feed. And remember, lions are the masters. When I went to Madrid to the palace, I mean, there were more lions there than they'd ever seen before in the Prado Museum. Everything was a lion. So we be the lions. That's critical.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. I love when people shout themselves out. This is what they've done. He's lost 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
The great, let me tell you, he lost me because I'm now 135 pounds. So you just pretty much lost the whole person.
Well,
Right?
well, my high school weight was 135. Like I'm 150, and you know, it's sort of, you got a little bit those love things over here and a little one over here, and you know, I want to look like Keto Savage or Sean Baker or something, but I'm okay.
Yes,
Too much work.
You're doing great.
It's not,
You're doing great.
no. I'm happy.
Okay, wait. Now they're talking. He's
All
down
right.
49 pounds.
Also, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And my thing stopped clicking.
But the important thing is, obviously, so many people are looking to lose weight, but really the motion here is about feeling healthy and well again, and not needing the drugs, the doctors, or the dissections. That's what the real critical part is, because a lot of people get frustrated because they're not losing all the weight. And again, skinny in a famine. And let me tell you, this is a crazy world right now, and people can't find food in many parts of the world. And if you're not fat, you're fertilizer fast.
Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
Say no longer sleep apnea, 63-year-old male.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Good.
Yes.
Once again, we wanted to do this because we have a pregnant mom here. I'm not trying to have any babies, but I know people
Me
that
neither.
are. I just want to keep practicing on making babies. That's all I want to do, to get my
Yes.
practice game up, you know.
Yeah. Stretch out. Get ready.
There you go. So with that being said, I'll say again, thank you. And we will have you, if
Yes.
you don't mind. Listen, it's the Lioness Lifestyle. Once a month, we've been coming together and just really, you know, trying to help women in the carnivore space. And then to have you, it's like perfect. So I will get with Jake from State Farm and
And let me just say one thing.
Yes.
Anything fake placed in our body is not good for us.
Oh, I lost my butt. I was thinking about going to Miami getting one. Don't do it.
Well,
Oh.
I would be very cautious because you're already hot mama. So
Right.
hot babe.
You don't need it.
Don't need it. Listen, and that's one of the things, people need to learn to love the body they're
That
in.
you are in.
That is the
Yes.
most important thing, and the universe will unfold in more amazing ways. And if it's fake, stay away.
Yeah,
Stay
no,
away.
I'm not. No,
Mhm.
listen, he talks about that all the time, where he's like, nope.
Which my answer kind of covers some of those controversial questions.
All right.
Yes, they
Okay.
did.
So we are going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We will the show is pretty much, I'll have to make some adjustments for him. And that one you can wear your pajamas to the Carnivores After Dark. Dr.
Yes.
Kiltz, listen, his information is across the bottom. When you go to there, you will see a plethora of everything that it is that you need. And as you can see, he's obtainable. He'll answer a question. And there is a special place in heaven, honey, waiting on you already.
Yes,
You are
absolutely.
just nothing but a blessing. And I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see you again. Will you be in Orlando? Where my little thing at?
I'll be in Orlando 1st to the
Oh,
4th.
I'm gonna miss
Listen,
the-
inbox me your hotel. Where you staying?
we're there.
Well, you have to be at a Hilton.
Okay, I'm at a Hilton. I have no idea. You tell me where I should be, I'll be there.
There you go. There you go. I'm trying to get you that good room.
You give me a good room rate. Listen, these are and women lead the way, and as women really advance in this keto carnivore lifestyle, it will help men be healthier also. And again, our children, all ages, carnivore is the way. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
Until next time, thank you guys so much. We will see you when we see you.
Keep sharing.
Hey!